YouTube land, what's good? It's your boy B here, aka Brian, aka Prince Vegeta. Without the hating, we're gonna react live to this Kombat cast and see what Mileena brings to the table. See what Mileena brings to the table. See what shoot they do as far as changes go. I hope they actually tease us with some changes, and well, not tease us, but tell us some changes. And tell us some big changes, bro. Like, the streets need to know what's going on. Like, streets need to know what is going on and what's really good. So please give us the information we deserve. We learn for, like, you know what I mean? Like, we need all that. We need all that. Give us all the information in the world, please. I want to learn about Mileena, and I want to learn about the changes coming to the game. And hopefully the changes are fun, man. Because if not, this game's gonna die. I don't want to see it. I don't, personally. I don't.
Let's take a look at her just general sort of fight style, and Stephanie can explain it. And after that, we can kind of discuss that with Derek as well.
Sure.
So you can hear the claws. She has a couple moves to use it. This is one of her fast move strings, and it has a couple options.
I bet that combo's in the corner.
The second one is a crushing blow if she ends the combo with more than 8 hits, which is pretty easy to do for a ball roll.
She ends the combo with a what?
She also has pretty much the core to her mix-up is this really quick overhead. It has great range, it's safe, it's fast, it's awesome.
It's safe?
She does not have like a really like awesome low safe launcher, so she has to commit or just do a low damage option like a sweep. But I think that totally fits your play style.
But what can she do with that?
You just do a low into the ball roll and just do a low and not worry if they're gonna block it. This low here for 2 it's a counter hit and then she gets a combo, which again goes into kind of a higher risk thing, but good damage if it hits. This is her forward 4, which I wanted to show because I think it's one of her better like mid attacks because it's really easy to hit confirm. And then the last thing I wanted to show was her throws because she has a similar crushing blow to Rambo, where if it's been 10 seconds without jumping or getting hit, she will bite them in the neck. And
that's such a weird crushing blow. It's basically 10 seconds of chilling out and not doing nothing.
Mileena, so
and hoping you don't get hit.
10 seconds. That's a tall order. So I think you deserve to eat their throat.
Derek will never get that crushing blow. You'll never get it.
No,
never.
No, probably
It'll
not.
never happen.
But
I
yeah,
love
the base.
But
I was gonna say the base of her is quick.
Yeah, I don't like that crushing blow requirement. That's so weird. 10 seconds of not doing anything?
I believe it's her away.
How are you gonna play?
To where she does that lunge. So that just puts.
Because if you can't jump and you can't block, like, how are you gonna get it? You'd have to almost destroy your opponent in 10 seconds and not get touched. And then on top of that, like, if you destroy your opponent in 10 seconds,
Combo City.
granted, depending on the character, a lot of those characters could probably kill somebody in 10 seconds. Especially with a crushing blow loaded.
Kind of outranged by like Jade's pole and stuff like that. They're not the greatest range in the world, but they're fast. She has mix-ups, good mids, so you know, kind of mid-range, she has to take a risk to get in. You could like YOLO jump, ball roll, go for one of the slower moves, the back 2. But then once you get in, good damage, good combos, good crushing blows, pretty fast. It's high risk, high reward, which Mileena players, putting their foot on the pedal and just going all in is exactly what they do.
And no blocking. Who does that?
there's just no reason. Next up, let's take a look at her default special moves.
And what's crazy about this game too is like they want you to not block and not jump, but this game is not that fast for that, so it's kind of contradicting to what they want.
Ball roll is exactly what you expect it to be. Super quick, leads to combos, which amplifies it. Great whiff punisher, punishes stuff that's like push back on block, you know, all that kind of stuff. And then the teleport kit. So this has a cool new thing where she can amplify and she goes into a throw and you can choose which direction to throw her, which is pretty cool. You can throw them in the corners and go to your pressure. And
so if you teleport and then okay, that's cool.
Throw them out of the corner if you don't want to deal with that. You have a life lead, whatever. So it's pretty much what you expect. She can zone and she can counter zone really well because it's pretty risky to throw a projectile when she has both teleport and roll.
And roll.
Sure.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Man, Mileena's gonna be tough to fight.
Agree more than that statement.
All of them are gonna be tough to fight, to be honest.
Yep.
So you're saying, I just want to just reiterate something. When you do the teleport, if you amplify it, it turns into a throw,
Yes.
and you can choose the direction in which you throw them.
Exactly.
Awesome, super cool.
So I think.
Uh,
Sorry, I just.
So you could teleport out the
Whenever
corner
the-
and then put them
you
in the
figure
corner.
her
That's gonna
base
be tough.
moves, it's like this is pretty much the Mileena that, pretty much boilerplate Mileena, how you'd expect her to play. But then her abilities and her variations, I think, are where a lot of the new moves are and new versions of old moves.
That was a
and stuff
weird
like that.
comment.
So you kind of determine which of her play style you want to like focus on, and that's where there's.
I might
a lot of
highlight
refreshing
it. I don't
stuff,
know.
which
You
is
talk about
pretty
like
cool.
the NRS hit
Don't
COVID.
forget,
The
like,
COVID hit NRS hard, so they had to drop OP characters.
because,
Like what?
we threw in like her
Oh, my bad.
classic MK3 combo as well, which is
Oh,
just a good
yes.
throwback to Mileena.
Yeah, I love that kind of stuff.
I'm sorry, 7-3 matchup for Aaron.
This
You know,
is
you're
like
not
a
wrong.
Kick, it's awesome.
Depending on the Aaron that you play,
variation
he's
one.
not wrong.
So this one I think is a mobility-based variation. The first thing is she can do her Sai in the air.
Not gonna lie, I do like the red and black.
Great, she can amplify it to recover faster and get combos. The second thing is she can do the teleport in the air. And this is awesome for like faking out jump ins.
That looks super slow though.
The low side back from MKX, which was one of my favorite projectiles. And it has a unique crushing blow if it goes under a high and you amplify it. So this really makes her mobility better, and then it makes her counter zoning even better because she can jump over a projectile and teleport. She can use the low side.
Well, like the air, how it's designed is like the air teleport looks super slow. I don't know, but I guess it depends on when you're using it. If you're using it to bait the anti-air, or you're using it
I think
to
that's kind of
like your opponent does something that they can't reach you.
You just want better options for getting in or stopping them from keeping you out. And then, you know, that's kind of the way you go. You get to play her up close game because you don't have to worry about their zoning and you can mix it up.
We only saw one variation, but I think Mileena gonna be top 10.
Absolutely.
She gonna be broke.
I was just gonna say, like, you can control with her low zoning because you're not going to get out zoned because you're going to low profile a majority of things. And then once you see somebody trying to move to get out of that, you just teleport, land on top.
Except I don't know how. I wonder how that Shiva matchup would go.
I mean, I personally use the low side because exactly for that reason. Like
that Shiva match. I'm not saying like Shiva's broken or OP, like, but Shiva, especially the variation 1 Shiva, like that.
Quick, go back to something from a little earlier. Just
that shit's gonna be weird.
For those
That's gonna be like an anime fighter.
Played it. Can you tell us a little bit more about the UMK3 combo? Which one is that?
Go ahead.
Oh, it's just one of her combo strings. It's 2, 3, 3, 4. I think it just looks pretty much like a new modern day version of one of her classic button combos that you can input in UMK3. It's a fun Easter egg. I think if you're an old like me, you'll immediately recognize it.
And that's the good thing too about the studio. We have a lot of people in the studio who are locked into how the old games played, who know the lore super well and know how the old games used to play and whatnot. Some of the earlier iterations of Mortal Kombat. So that's awesome to have Easter eggs for all ages of our fans. Super cool. Let's take a look at Variation 2.
So Variation 2, I think, is the opposite. I think it's a rushdown variation. The first thing is she loses a roll, but she gains this brand new move, the Conum Dash, which I think is pretty awesome. Super quick low, so you can use that in mix-ups.
The fact that that's a low, bro.
It has an amplify, and it actually has a double amplify. And you can also cancel it. Like you can start to run, hold it down, and then just cancel it and not do the attack and go for a mix-up. And this has a crushing blow. Then she also has a bunch of extra throws at the end of her strings. I think she gets 3 of them. You can see her low gets a new one, and I think this one's definitely the coolest. She gets.
It look like she has a lot of combos from this. Maybe ball roll into that.
And then she can get a.
Bro, she's about to be stupid. Cause imagine like, yeah, oh my god, that's a 50-50 right there.
A command grab. This move is freaking awesome looking.
I'm playing this Mileena. This Mileena look.
This has a crushing.
This Mileena looks so stupid.
Knock them down. They don't want to deal with their mix-ups. Nope, they are definitely going to deal with their mix-ups. And now they're blind.
I love every time we show a new character, there's always a variation that has not always, 50% of the time that has like grabs, and I'm like, well, I mean, maybe I could try Mileena.
Damn, is that really?
Maybe I could do that.
No,
That
Shiva has
variation
command grabs.
right
Oh,
up my alley
yeah.
with all like we talked about last time, the two-player animations and whatnot.
I was like, damn, there's no other females with command grabs?
You
There.
stay away from her, pal. You just stay away from
Okay.
No.
Okay.
No. All right.
I get it. I'll do it in my own time.
I would call that like basically the more savage, ravenous version of Mileena's variation too. And it's probably, I would say, probably my favorite as well, because you're just rushing in, command grabs, the combos are flashy, and there's some cool brutalities attached to a couple of them.
Oh, one other thing is the command grab is her armor breaker. And if you use it on armor break, you get the crushing blow. So that's also really good too.
I hate command grabs as crushing blows.
Prerequisite if you catch on armor break.
Right. And that also would complement the fact that it's like her rush down one.
Oh, who you finna shoot?
Try to break away. You don't want to deal with her stuff, and you get caught.
That was some evil ass shit. I barely saw that text.
That was number 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Let's move on to number 3.
I'm curious to see what number 3 is gonna have.
Theme, and pretty much came up with. It's kind of a cornucopia of more stuff. First thing is she gets this special roll, which does extra damage and actually hops in the air, so she can go over stuff. Then she gets invisibility, which is a ton of fun. I mean, you can imagine, Mileena's already all over the place. You literally can't even see her. Like, I don't know if...
So she can go invisible and have a high roll and a low roll?
She gets a brand new move, which is pretty interesting. She slides her sai across the ground, and she can hold it and decide when she's going to lift it up, and then it'll come back down. The opponent has to guess, are you going to delay it? Are you going to let it go really early? And then it has a crushing blow if it interrupts an opponent. So if they think you're going to delay it, and they try to just attack you out of it, and you didn't delay it, you can go ahead and amplify it. It's going to hit them right in the noggin.
Bro, this shit look broken. I don't know about the invisibility. Like, the visibility looks kind of especially since it's like a glow. I think On has a better invisibility than her.
Yes,
but...
and it drains stamina. So there are downsides to using it, but I think it's pretty worth it.
Excellent.
Mileena looks like she's playing her own game. Like, she looks like she's playing Ultimate. The other characters, I don't know how they're gonna look.
Is tracking, right?
Yes. If you just hold it, it will go to the opponent, and then it will know where they are. You don't.
And it's tracking too. Oh my god.
So if they're full, you do have to hold it for a while, but yeah, it does track to where the opponent is.
Yeah, which is awesome.
Yeah, I think that'll be really cool for setups. Like some of the creative players, I can already see, you know, some of the more creative players than me, like turning invisible and then doing stuff with it, weird stuff in the corner, all kind of fun stuff like that.
It's hard to keep track of Mileena as it is, and when she's invisible, it just gets worse.
Right.
But I guess if you go invisible, do that tracking move, you could be kind of OP with that.
Get a clean view of it. Let's take a look real quickly at her fatal blow, which it's damn near a fatality.
It also, the into attack is pretty awesome because it's got really good range.
And she travels.
Let's take a look.
Yep.
It looks like one of those Shiva ones in a way, where it's gonna be hard to punish. No, wait, do we know how much pushback is on the fatal blows now?
Awesome.
Did they tease that?
We have a couple special things to show with Mileena because we know that everyone's really excited to see Mileena. It's been I've been getting tweets all week about Mileena. So we're going to show a brutality. We're also going to show a friendship later too. So you might want to close your eyes if you don't want to be spoiled. But let's quickly show the Mileena brutality.
I'm kind of curious to see what the friendship's going to be. I thought they were going to show the Mileena brutality. She's getting fucked up. Isn't that a nod to one of her old fatalities? Yeah, what the fuck?
Your head will adorn my throne.
Mileena, her head's gone. I was gonna do it.
Speaking of UMK3, there's
just beautiful
it's
again.
brutality. It's top 5 close brutality in the game. I can't wait for people to see it.
Okay.
And the
okay.
win pose, classic win pose.
Oh yeah, of course.
Always bringing it back. Let's go and watch. Let's take a look at the fatality one more time.
I always say her head doesn't get caught there, you know?
What a cool
So we don't wanna-
freeze frame at the end. Like, our cinematics team is awesome.
So great. We don't want to show every fatality day because I know people. We're going to mix that up a little bit, but you might see it before launch. We'll see. But we do want to show something. This was Derek. Derek was really into doing this, so we brought together today. We're going to show the first friendship we've shown. So we're going to show Mileena's friendship.
Okay, kind of curious to see how this will look. I like it. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. NRS is really when they want to put their passion and time into something, like they're cold.
I love it.
Doing great, feeling better. How are you, Swanson?
Love the Bears, and like always, the music for friendships is just it kills me every single time. Even when I get beat online doing friendships, I'm like, let's hear the song again.
I have
can't
one
get mad
last
at that.
thing about Mileena, by the way.
Okay.
I can't help myself. Lore fans of maybe like Tanya. I can't wait. You guys are gonna have a good day when the game comes out. Mileena's story stuff is awesome.
A little lore treatment for the.
I wonder what she means by that.
Stuff, maybe. We'll see.
Yeah, I have a lot of people have tweeted me. You know, is Tanya involved in Mileena's story in this game? Oh yeah.
So that's exciting.
Ending
so
possibly.
Any last things to talk about Mileena?
This
She's
is the
a ton
best
of
day
fun.
ever.
Best day ever. Okay.
I love her outfits. I think her hairstyle in the like Tarkatan kind of savage outfit is extremely cool.
I really did like the first and second costume though. I will say that.
Her voice in this game, at first it was like, that's quite different. It's more savage than she's usually portrayed, but I really like it.
Voiced by Kari Walgren, who I tweeted that I did a play with when I was like 14 years old in Kansas. So it all comes back around. She's awesome. I love Kari. Before we we're going to talk a little bit balance, but before we do that, let's do birthday shout outs real quick.
Bro.
Ready for that, Derek? Yeah.
Y'all ain't give me a birthday shout out.
There's a balance patch coming with Ultimate Mortal Kombat 11. But we're not going to go too deep into the woods today. There's some stuff that when we do release the patch notes, you'll be able to see it. That won't be right away. We won't be releasing those right away. So please don't tweet me every 15 minutes about where the patch notes. They'll probably be released near to when the game is released. It won't work, but I'm just
still fine.
Hardcore players are going to be like, oh, fair enough.
Curious to see what they're gonna say.
I think I told Honeybee once or someone that like every time they asked me, I was going to move it back 2 hours. So we were still working on finishing all that stuff up. So we're going to tell you a little bit about today. It probably won't be as much as we're not going to tell you as much as you want to hear today. We're going to give you some really cool stuff.
Hold on. I have to say it.
Go ahead.
And I'm allowed to say this because I understand. I was one of them once, and I haven't forgotten.
Sure.
What would you even do with that information if you had it now?
That is true.
I
But
get
the excitement.
Yeah.
I get the excitement. So, but what we I guess we're going to talk about is really some system changes to start, which is kind of more of the stuff we're going to talk about. But I think we want to start with like sort of the big thing we kind of teased last week.
I am 100 out of 10 excited. So the big change to the variation system is we are adding custom variations in Combat League and in tournament mode. You will be able to make your own variation and use them in ranked tournament play. There will be a UI thing now, which shout out our UI team. They have to be like one of
Whoa.
the big unsung heroes of a video game studio. They are constantly working on new stuff.
Whoa.
Weird technical things to get into the game. I mean, everyone is an unsung hero behind the scenes, but shout outs to them.
Well, it's one of those things where if you don't notice it, it's probably done really well.
Yeah.
So then, wait, what's the point of showing 3 variations then?
So, and they're always asked to add these new situations and stuff. Anyway, when you pick your character, a little thing will come up with your variation, and now you can just go into custom, and it's kind of like the abilities screen. So you can go through it. The same rules apply. That you know, if a move conflicts, you can't do it.
That sucks.
And the slots, and then the one big thing is there's going to be a few moves that are actually banned from competitive play. There are some moves that, I'll use the example, Terminator's Terminate move, where we felt that they were probably a little too wild, even for Wild Wild West. They're kind of
that's fair.
Casual play.
That's fair, but that kind of
did not feel they were appropriate.
That's
for
fair.
Competitive play at this time. There are not.
Kind of sucks though, because it makes you think like, well, what do they think is too broken?
This is exciting to me.
Like is Spawn's move broken, where he gets all the crushing blows in one round?
I created a combo back in the day with variations, which we talked about it earlier. We cannot remember the name of it with Kano, where you use Snakebite and Command Grab. I had a name for this combo in one of the early combat casts. I used to say it all the time, and I can't remember it. So please, tweet me. Remind me of what that was called.
But that's interesting.
So here's a question for you, Stephanie. Now, say variation 2 of Mileena. Can I get rid of her run and replace that with the ball?
Yes, which I actually think is probably going to be a pretty popular thing. That's what I've been doing, is using the base variations as kind of a blueprint and then changing out 1 or 2 things. Like Jade's, her variation 1, the zoning one, I actually really like, but I like to remove upward razor ring and put in amplifying the double kick to keep you in the corner. Like a lot of I think that's actually going to be very common. And the default variations will still be there if you just want to quickly use it. Or I think it'd be great if you're new to a character and you're like, there's like 10 moves. What is going on? There's still like a good way to be like, oh, well, you can kind of get ideas for how you'd like to do it.
So this is going to be interesting.
I can make my own variations and go through it right now.
Scary, but interesting. Like I think I can make Aaron Black pretty good. I'm actually excited about that.
Awesome. So that's definitely one of the big, when it comes to balance, like that's a big thing. Like
it's, in my opinion,
it depends on what they do though.
Potential meta shift we've introduced in Mortal Kombat 11. I have absolutely no idea what's going to go on.
That'd be hype. If you could pull off a 70% combo.
Game, I would say. Probably the biggest meta shift in any of our games.
That's probably actually not an outrageous. You could.
But there's a balance patch too, so if anything's broken in custom variations now, it's not going to be broken
We'll talk about it
when that shit comes out.
So let's now discuss. We were talking earlier about some system stuff.
Yes. So we've taken a look at pretty much most of the gameplay systems and made some tweaks that I think are pretty exciting. The first one I'd like to talk about is we have adjusted the hit regions, like the hurt box, on crouching characters. And this should help with a lot of inconsistencies and moves going over someone when they're crouching, like mids not hitting, stuff like that. And that's pretty much across the cast.
So Johnny's probably going to get hit.
Across the cast is we've taken a look at the down pokes, down 3s, and down 1s. Most characters have had them adjusted. Some have more recovery, some have less. Like Aaron Black's, for example, now have more recovery on blocks, so you can kind of check him with one of your fast mids if you think he's going to mash them. And that's something where when the patch notes come out, you guys can absolutely...
I feel like Aaron Black keep getting nerfed with his
I would expect a lot of you
pokes.
To just be sitting there F5ing, waiting for it, and then as soon as it's there, someone needs to make a spreadsheet with all the changes and just go crazy. So that's pretty
and we talked about how like a lot of those too, like they differentiate between characters. So we're not going to go through, character by character, obviously.
Another thing is hop attacks are now immune to down 1s until they are done and are recovering. So that's another way that you can beat bow pokes if someone's spamming them. Kind of taking a risk. It's not the fastest thing to do in the world, but it'll just flat out beat it. So if you want to make a read, that's a good way you can do it. Another thing that's kind of neat, and it's going to improve the pacing of the game, make it a little bit faster, is get up animations are now adjusted to be a couple of frames faster, 4, I believe. So when you get knocked down, you'll basically get up faster. You have similar options, but it'll just be quicker. You are on the ground.
We don't know yet.
For less amount.
That poking, if
And that
the
also
poking in
goes
neutral
to
might affect him a lot.
last time, where get up animation, the delayed wake up is now just one timing. There's not short and long. It's just kind of a middle ground, and there's a little animation for it too. And I think one last thing I'd like to talk about is a change to fatal blows. 2 things, actually. They, across the board, a lot of them, I think, have less pushback on block, especially like in the corner situations and stuff like that, to make them a little bit easier to punish on block.
Okay, that's good.
The second thing, which is very interesting, it's a new mechanic that some moves, we have expanded the window for a flawless block. You'll actually have 6 frames to flawless block a move, and that applies to every fatal blow. So the idea would be, if you know it's coming and you're ready for it, it will be significantly easier to flawless block, and then you get a punish. And this will also apply to other moves, which I guess we can just go straight into that, unless you guys have some thoughts on these changes.
That's scary because like, 6 frame window is making it easier.
I think I'm really excited. There's a lot of these things we've heard about, from the community. We do listen to those things, and sort of take our own direction on how we want to change the game in those sort of.
But that's what I'm saying. Like you could abuse that down A if you don't have a fast mid.
Right now. And I think that a lot of people will be happy with these things.
Right. There's always you're right. We do like to look at feedback. Our design team is watching streams and looking at tournament results and looking at our internal data. We actually have a vast amount of that. Like our lead designer can actually see the matchup numbers, just real results and all that. So if you're like, oh my God, like Jax, he 7-3s this character, we can actually see. No, he doesn't. We have that data.
No,
yeah, you're exaggerating.
That's one of my favorite. One of my favorite things to do is to go to Paula's office and just see like the matchups of Jade, okay, Jade, okay, okay. It's great. Yes.
But what I was going to say is there's also a balancing act with, first you look at what is everyone talking about, who's good, who's bad, who then you have to kind of parse out, well, what are the players not adjusting to yet, and then maybe what's harder to deal with than we expected. But then the really tricky part, and that's where the design team really has to think about it, is what do you do to change it? Because it's easy to say, hey, this move's too strong. And it's like, well, we also don't want it to be bad. So it's a whole thing. My whole point is, yes, we do listen. Keep complaining. Not that you would stop anyway, but your voice does get through, even though you don't necessarily get a reply on Twitter. Just don't complain to me. Complain to Paulo.
Awesome. So we do have we have 2 short videos we want to show to kind of explain a couple. There's only like 2 layers. Again, all the characters have some stuff in their list. We're not going to go through all of that today, but we will show a couple things right now. Who do we want to start with? What do I have here? Let's start with Jackie.
So Jackie actually has this enhanced flawless block thing with her leap. If you see that she's leaping, you can flawless block it much easier now. Let me put it this way. You kind of got to be ready for it, but it's easy enough. I can do it. And as we've established, I'm old, and I haven't been good at games in like 5 years now, and I can do it. So that's a really good barometer. And when you flawless block, you can't cancel, so that means she can't get her pressure. Now, of course, if you're sitting there waiting to flawless block, she's going to get her pressure going in other ways. She can dash up or whatever. So it's not like you literally she can't move anymore. But if you're ready for it and you're really sure she's going to leap, it's a really great option to deal with it. And the second thing we showed there is her dash punch is now punishable on block. It's -12, so you can get a good jab punish and beat her off.
We know that video went really quickly, so watch the VOD. You can watch it again. Some of these videos are very short, but this is how we can't show it live like we used to. So this is how we're going to do it.
Honeybee, Ketchup and Mustard, etc. will be doing a 45-minute video about that 20-second clip.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah, Tom Brady already has it out.
That's funny.
I'm here for it. Let's take a look at Raiden. Yeah.
So Radiant got some command changes. This move is now actually an advantage on block, and it ends in an overhead, and it's really quick. So it's really awesome for mixing up with this backbone pressure. And then the Super Bolt move is now safe if you charge it for just slightly. And the main reason I wanted to show this is that it's an example of some of the tournament moves that you might want to use in your custom variations can be quite a bit different to get ready for the
Damn, so if he charges Superman Punch, Raiden gonna be good?
Another example would be Aaron Black's low gun is now significantly slower because previously it was like the fastest projectile ever. Another example is Katana's her dancing fan, where she does the Enchantress dance and fans spin around her. That has had a significant change where there's only one fan instead of three unless she amplifies it. There's just different kind of changes like that.
Well, that's good, because that shit was hard as hell to punish. Like, I only played a few Highborns, but I was getting cooked every time I played a Highborn.
And, you know, across the board, there's other things that will be in the patch notes, which we will get out when they are ready, probably right before we launch on November 17th. So that, before, like, we're going to say our goodbyes, because at the end of this, we're going to play a short video from one of our earlier streams about sort of how the upgrades work and that sort of things for those of you who missed that. Am I missing something, DK? Oh.
Yeah. Remember the things
Go.
that we talked about with everyone? Okay. Hello.
I forgot about the things. I forgot. That's on
okay.
me.
It's okay. So, starting on November 24th, there will be a race against time where you can actually earn the Ultimate MK3 Mileena skin and mask. So if you guys are wondering how you're going to get that, it's going to start off in Race Against Time. So you can earn it that way for free. Starting the 18th, we're going to have some new crypt events coming live that actually have bigger bundles of rewards that I actually are really excited for. And then starting December 29th, we are going to start repeating the Kombat League seasons. So if you weren't able to get in for the Season of Blood because it was X months ago, we're going to bring those back and start those again from the beginning. We're reordering the skins. So if you couldn't get to Demigod in the previous season, but you really wanted that skin, it'll probably be a lower ranking. So everybody that wasn't able to get them before hopefully can now.
I like that.
And also, the repeats of the seasons will also have new gear and brutalities and other items for you to unlock as well.
I like that a lot.
Booyah! For the people that keep asking, how am I going to get those skins? There it is.
I like that combat change.
Sorry, I almost forgot. That was big info.
Well, that's why I'm here, you know? It's all good.
It's on me. It's on me. Awesome. So that's really it. We got Mileena, Rambo, Rain, Next Gen coming.
I did wish they talked about anti-airs and breakaway.
Ultimate Mortal Kombat 11. So Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate.
Sure,
there we go.
Be sure you pre-order it, right? So that you get the Time Warrior skins. And I believe we're just about 11 days away. So get hype.
Very hype, very excited. I'm personally, like, I know it's been a weird year for everybody, and we are in our homes right now, and it's really exciting working in a game company to be able to bring you people playing the game something that you can really enjoy during these times. Like, that's exciting to me, and that's something that really brings me a lot of joy, and I'm sure it does for Stephanie and Derek as well. So before we go, any final words?
It's Mileena Day! Yeah.
It is Mileena Day. Stephanie?
I don't know.
She's
It's
good.
Mileena Day!
Keep rolling with Mileena. Rolling, rolling. Remember that song?
I do. But before we go, let's take a look one more time at the video that we played a couple weeks back. If you have Mortal Kombat 11 already on PS4 or Xbox One, or get Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate on PS4 or Xbox One, you can upgrade to the PS5 or Xbox Series X or S version of this game for free at no additional cost. Now, if you pre-order MK11 Ultimate, you'll get access to Mortal Kombat 11, Kombat Pack 1, and Aftermath when you purchase the game. Now, if you already own Mortal Kombat 11, you can easily upgrade by pre-ordering Kombat Pack 2 to get Mileena, Rain, and Rambo on November 17th. Now, any players who pre-order Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate or Kombat Pack 2 will get the Time Warrior skin pack at launch, giving you 3 new skins: Dark Web Noob Saibot, Halt and Catch Fire Liu Kang, and Blood Code Scarlet. Now, here's something I've been getting a lot on Twitter, so I want to explain this. If you upgrade your PS4 game to the PS5 version, as long as you are signed in with the PlayStation ID, the same one, your inventory, rewards, character variation, and time crystals will carry over, as well as anything purchased with time crystals. Previous Tower of Time and Crypt progression will carry over as well. Story progression, unfortunately, will not carry over to PS5, but any rewards earned by any sort of campaign completion will carry over. Settings, files, and stats in your combat card will not carry over to PS5. And finally, for the Xbox users, if you upgrade your Xbox One game to the Xbox Series S or X version, as long as you are signed in with the same Xbox login, all inventory, rewards, character variations, progression, time crystals will carry over, as well as anything you purchased with time crystals. Now, you'll still need to download your local save data from the cloud or transfer via USB to carry over custom settings or any sort of combat cast stats. But that's it. If you have any questions, feel free to tweet us. We can explain it better. 11 days, Derek says, 11 days. We cannot wait to see you playing the game. Thank you so much for joining us for all of these combat casts. Thank you to the team behind the cameras and everything, helping us. It's been a real joy to be able to bring these to you, and we will see you next time.
So Mileena looks good. The quality of life changes look good as well. I think having the ability to do custom moves in ranked and in tournament seems exciting, seems interesting, seems like it's going to work. Some moves are going to get banned, so I'm really curious to see what moves are going to get banned. Like, you know what I mean? Like, my main curiosity is Spawn. What moves are they going to ban of his? Are they going to ban that? Because he has a lot of unique individual, like, custom things. Like, it'd be cool to take the custom crushing blows into rank. And, I mean, there's that give and take where Terminator doesn't really have a give and take with his Terminate move. Like, that shit is just an AI move. Where Spawn, I think he loses a defensive bar and he can only use it that round. And then, obviously, he doesn't get access to those crushing blows. But that shit would be kind of hype to see a Spawn do 5 crushing blows in a combo when his back's against the wall and he has to play, you know? And I'm hoping when they were talking about Aaron Black and his low gunshot, they meant that gun stance and not the pistols he has. Because that pistol move is really good. And it's like safe on block. I think it's like -6 or something like that. But it has good pushback. So I'm hoping they don't change that move a lot. Because I'll use that in Aaron Black's string. Like, using that and then getting Aaron Black strings, I'm excited. Like, I'm excited to play Aaron Black. I'm trying to think of like custom variations that I made. Johnny could have some good custom variations. I definitely like his stunt devil move. Also the fact that I could get the good fireball with some of the stuff he has. Who else? Cassie might have some interesting moves to use in custom variations. Jax, I might have to use Jax, you know, I might have to bring him out the woodwork. Finally start playing him. Kodal could have some good moves. Kano has some interesting moves, so Kano might be a strong character with his custom variations. I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to see what they do with them. Rambo's move where he gets the health back, like that might be OP. Rain could be good, you know. Mileena as well. Mileena had a lot of tools and a lot of interesting things to do, even though her variation 2 looked good and it looked fun. And I'm definitely gonna use the Naruto meme and that. Come on, bro, like. But it's also scary too. It's also scary because they can make some characters really good and some characters really interesting too. And it seems like they're gonna add more of a window. Now they said special moves, so I think I'm okay with that. If special moves are easier to flawless block, I'm 100% okay with that. And then you can't add pressure if you get your stuff flawless blocked. So you know what I'm saying, I'm with it because I need a flawless block anyway. But 6 is a little high. So we're gonna see how OP it is, but it might not be that bad. It might not be that OP. Only time will tell. Is there anything else I want to say that I saw in the rating looked interesting? Rating with a Superman punch looked interesting. Terminator's gonna get a teleport. Baraka's gonna get some help too, because I think his flag charge move that's in the custom variations has a hit armor on it. I think Kotal Khan's cat move to where if you amplify you can have armor. So Baraka's gonna not struggle against Sechion and some of the purest zoners there is. He's gonna have a way to get in, and you know he might get punished and might get pushed back, but he's gonna have a way to get in now. It's not gonna be such a bad matchup, and that's what we're hoping for. More of a balance, more of a fun game. I hope they do something with. They said they adjusted the hitbox regions on crouching characters. Hopefully that means they adjusted the hitbox and add a little bit more gravity. I think the breakaway moves are fine, but sometimes like you get bodied by breakaway and you get punished for it. And that's something I don't like at all. Even though I do it too. Like it is what it is. But I'm hoping they add it to where like if I'm playing Scorpion and I do the combo and I do amplified teleport and I see that you're about to break away, I can make that split decision of like you're about to break away fast, but I still have a chance to recover because his is an overhead. So you know what I'm saying? It's like one of the slower moves in the game. And you don't give it that opportunity to do it unless you're just solely basing it off a read. And I feel like fighting games, like it's almost counterproductive because like the way you have to think in MK11 is nothing how you think at all. Because it's like as soon as you get the hit confirm, you think about not dropping the combo. Now in MK11, you get the hit confirm, you're thinking of I have to drop this combo to go for the breakaway so I could keep the combo going. And that's like it's one thing to slow down the game, but it's one thing to not react. And I feel like you're not making the player react, you're making the player it's like you're making it instead of like an action-packed game, it's more of a like telltale game. Like your decisions have consequences, which they should, but like it's almost like a football player not learning the players. Like they're not thinking, they're not reacting, they're just kind of going through the motion. And like a fighting game should be fast and fun. But you know, if they're good enough to keep up, but that's the hard part about fighting games because it's hard to be fast and good. Because a lot of times you're worried about dropping the combo, but then it's like you have to worry about the other things in fighting games. And I love the other things in MK11 you have to worry about, but that combo should be the least thing I should worry about. You feel me? But I'm excited. I'm excited. Hopefully they do drop the balance patch before MK11 Ultimate drops. Like maybe that week before, maybe that weekend. It's technically 1 week because like we just got finished this weekend out and then we got 1 week and then it's here. So I'm excited for it. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this. I don't know how I'm gonna edit this, how I'm gonna slice this, but I try to make it convenient for you guys. I love you guys. Till next time, I'm out. Bye.